Coming up, it's a Bass Egg and HP Stream 8, some brand new Shure headphones, and the first laptop with an infinity screen. It's time to watch before you buy. Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit. Bandwidth for Before You Buy is brought to you by Cashfly at CACHEFLY.com.
Before You Buy is brought to you by SmartThings. SmartThings lets you monitor, control, and automate your home from wherever you are using your smartphone. Right now, SmartThings is offering Before You Buy listeners 10% off any home security or solution kit, and you'll get free shipping in the U.S. when you go to smartthings.com/twit and use the offer code TWIT at checkout. And by Prosper. Prosper is a peer-to-peer lending marketplace that connects people who are looking to borrow money with those who have money to lend. Visit prosper.com/twit and receive a $50 Visa prepaid card when you get a loan. Turn that down. You kids, turn that music down. Time to watch Before You Buy, the product review show on Twitter where we get all the interestingest stuff, give it to our staff, and give them a chance to review it. Chad Johnson is here, the old redhead himself from OMG Craft fame. He has something called a bass egg.
The bass egg. You've heard of caviar.
This is
a whole different level. No.
We've seen these before. These are the speakers that use the surfaces to create a bigger sound.
Right, and it's wireless. So this is Bluetooth enabled.
So you had it plugged in.
Yeah, I had it plugged in just to charge, make sure it didn't die during the show. But yeah, it's really heavy. But the idea is that this little pad at the bottom of the bass egg, whenever you put it on something, it will use that as sort of its echo chamber to create sound.
So this is a bass transducer. You know, you never removed the plastic.
I never did. It's a little tiny bit sticky. You don't have to. You can.
It works with the plastic on there?
Right. Okay. I mean, you can pull the plastic off right now if you want.
I just want to make sure that didn't impact the sound.
No.
Okay.
So
it's kind of cool looking.
It's kind of cool looking.
Do you have to put it on something, or how does this? Let's hear it.
So let's say I'm going to play some Poker Face right now from Lady Gaga. If it should start playing any second.
I feel it vibrating.
Right. So it's playing.
It's not very loud.
It's playing right now, and it's not very loud at all.
Oh, I see. It has no speakers at all.
Exactly. It is just the little piston that pushes against something. So if you put it on, so you can kind of hear it out of your cheek.
Can you hear it coming out of my mouth?
A little bit. It works on stuff harder. So if you put it on your skull,
wow!
It might actually work a little bit
You
better.
Can't hear this, but it sounds great. And the bass is phenomenal.
I mean, it's
kind of like a massager. Actually.
Yeah. I'm sure that there's some meditation practice that uses one of these. And so now that's against the TV.
Yeah.
So if you were in, say, a hotel room.
But see, that's not so good because it's like buzzing.
Right. So the biggest issue that I had with it is if, let's say you put it on a desk with a lot of keys, all your keys are going to start buzzing.
Yeah.
Or like on a medicine cabinet or something like that. So
that sounds terrible.
This is what you do with it, is you experiment and try to find different things that you can rest it on that makes it louder.
Sounds like it's in a train tunnel.
Or tinnier. And if you just put it right on the table.
That's not bad.
That's not that bad.
On a coffee table or a dinner table, something big would sound probably good.
Yeah, more
mass is better.
Right. The harder it is, here, I'm going to turn that down. You need kind of a mix of denseness and also hollowness.
That's why it's so good on my head.
Yeah, like if you put this on a slab of granite that was 3 feet thick, it's too dense. But if you were to put it on your granite countertop, it's actually probably a really good location.
It's like a guitar, you know, a solid body guitar versus a hollow body. We got a box there. What is that?
We have a box. The box sounds a little bit hollow. We also have a window. I can go.
All right, go
throw it on the window. I have to unplug
Are you
here.
attached?
Yeah, I was. Now I shouldn't be. I was just making sure I didn't. So inside.
So we're gonna go use Bruce's office. We kicked him out of his office, so we can. Oh, it sounds great.
So you can see, it's okay.
That's not bad. It's a little, well, it's stuck. It's a little tubby. It's a little tubby kind of boob, 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 like you're on a wash tub.
Yeah. So,
but you know what? It sounded best on my head, at least from my point of view.
It probably does.
You know, if you could just, it would be a good.
Really
you
great.
can't hear this, right?
I can hear a bit. I can hear it a bit.
Put it on your head.
It sounds
I'm
like
not kidding.
it sounds like you're listening. Oh yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
I can't imagine the brain damage.
It's a concussion in a box.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But the sound. Listen to the bass.
Yeah.
Give it back.
I mean, it's like a subwoofer, a little mini subwoofer.
It's really good against the thickest part of your skull.
Right. Right. I mean, there's a nice big open space inside your head, so. So Lou's just gonna jam out.
I want a little hat.
that has
made
one of
out of
those
this.
built in. Now that's a pound. It weighs about a pound.
It's heavy.
It's very heavy.
But what this is a
it's very
transducer from an actual speaker. I mean,
Absolutely.
normally you'd have a cone.
One thing I wanted to test, and this is actually something I haven't tested yet.
Yeah.
I wanted to turn it upside down. That didn't work out so hot.
That's the best part about all this, is just trying it on stuff.
You just experiment with it.
Do they say that a window is the best place to put it, or they even tell you?
They just, on their website, they show you skateboards, boats, tabletops.
Let's try this Dell XPS 13.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
On the top. Yeah. So this is the fun of it.
Sounds
is
pretty
you just
good.
experiment. Where can you set this thing
Telling
down?
you, this is the best.
The problem is you never feel really confident that you found the best thing to rest it on. So like while doing chores,
Like a massager.
while doing chores around the house, I might set it on the washing machine and it's like, no.
No, right.
And then you set it on the floor and it's really quiet.
So
and
we've
you're
been
kinda
looking for
inside the
street speakers because
That would
as
be
you
great.
go outside the brick house, as you can see, there's people out there, and they walk by, and we have monitors out there, but they can't hear the sound. If we put this on the window,
Absolutely, that would be great.
have you tried that yet?
We
it
basically
worked
just did
well.
it on there. See, they're putting it on skateboards, put on luggage, coolers, tables. That's basically. See, that's great. Tables I found have been the
Solid
best.
wood's probably the best. That actually sounds.
That sounds great, right? And that's. I mean, you walk around your house.
Great is a.
Great.
Probably not the right word.
It's compared to how it sounded on the box.
Better than a plate.
It's better than the plate. It's a little bit better than the plate. So battery life is depending on how.
That is wild.
Isn't it? It's fun. How much would you pay?
$100.
That's how much it cost.
Yeah.
So for me though, it works great. I'm just
It's
putting
$100 down the tubes.
I'm putting my 2 cents in.
You'll never use it
I would
again.
rather buy a real speaker. I almost wish that it had, because it just is that, that oscillator. I feel like you could just snap on a real
speaker,
speaker
and then you'd be
it would
done.
be fine. I almost wish they would sell that, or it came with
Yeah.
it and you could do the experiment and have fun with it. But when you actually want to listen to something and not worry about what you're setting it against, you could do that as well.
It's too bad it doesn't have like a suction cup, like a Mission Impossible suction cup, so we could put it on our window and
Well,
we would
that's
stay
what
there.
the stickier
But that's,
edge
and I
is
saw it
for.
kind of stuck, but it's not. You can't.
I wouldn't trust
rely on
that
that.
it would stay there for a month. Right.
We need a suction cup that you could put right on the window, and we'd be done.
A duct tape.
And the city could come along and they'd say, you have to turn your speakers off. We say, what speakers?
We don't
That's
have
the
a speaker.
window.
Point. Where's the speaker? Where is it?
Uh-huh.
Right. So the battery life, if it's turned up all the way, is around 4 hours. But
It's not good.
At most, you'll get 10. So 4 to 10 hours.
Oh, okay. Depends how loud
It
you
depends
turn
on how loud you
Yeah.
have the thing cranked up.
It's heavy.
It's heavy. It feels really solid. Like
Yeah.
if you throw that in your backpack, nothing's really going to
Yeah.
destroy it. And anyway, so that is the base seg. Pros is that it's very sturdy. I think the battery life was just fine.
People are now coming
and as
to
far
us
as people are coming
with
to us with
stuff to
stuff,
put it
right?
on.
For some, you think that
I turned it
pottery-
off, so it needs to be
Oh, here,
reattached.
easily.
I detached it because I turned it off, the Bluetooth. Wait a minute, that's brilliant.
Right.
It's
No, that's what I
directional.
thought the plate would do. That's what I was hoping the.
Because this is speaker cone size.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I thought the plate was gonna do.
That's actually pretty good.
So that's over.
And it's directional.
Yeah. Right.
Can you hear it at home? I'm aiming it at you.
So, pros, durable, small, and wireless.
Yeah.
On the cons, there's no multimedia buttons. I was really hoping there'd be a play, pause, something on it.
There's nothing.
There's nothing. The other con is, who knows? Like, depending on what you put it on, it might sound great. Depending on what you have
Sounds
around.
really good on your head.
Okay, you always have your skull. That's a great fallback. Anyway, and the price is $100. So buy, try, don't buy.
If it were $50, if it were $25,
$25, I'd do it.
Be worth it for $25, but for $100,
But, right, because I could
that's
see traveling with this
do
to a
not buy.
hotel room or like showing friends.
No, right.
But other than that, I just want a Bluetooth speaker. That's all I want. So buy, try, don't buy. I'm gonna give this a try because there's nothing wrong with it as long as you know what you're getting into.
Put it on your head. And
Go to the store, set it on your head.
I can't tell you how good this sounds.
You look like that's a brain sucker, and you're just like right on your head. If you put little eyeballs on it, it would be adorable. Can you imagine what is vibrating your brain cells?
It probably is not a good thing to do to your head.
I bet after 30 minutes you'd get a pretty bad migraine.
I think you would. Come to think of it, this is a terrible idea.
It's what you vibrate your whole skull just so that your ears can be vibrated just enough.
But you remember they made these, but you don't because you're too young, but in the 70s they had these bone phones. You'd hang it around.
Oh, we still have
Same
them. Same
idea, yeah.
Yeah.
The base egg from Verb,
base
$100,
eggs.
it's a try.
It's a try.
It's not bad.
It's not bad.
I'll take it.
Yeah, it does everything it advertises.
I said, yeah,
Just
it's
not
exactly
sure if you
what
want
you,
it.
yeah. It's not like they're misrepresenting the product.
Exactly. It works exactly as intended.
Whoops, I dropped my smart thing.
Uh-oh.
Let's get it right here. What is this one? This is the Smart Sense. It could tell you what, I should explain what SmartThings is. SmartThings was a Kickstarter project that really succeeded. The idea was, and it turned out people really wanted this, you want to do home automation. If you've ever tried it, you've got all these different things. Nothing talks to anything else. So the guys at SmartThings said, well, why don't we make a hub that talks to everything? To your Nest thermostat, to your Hue lights, to your Sonos speakers, to your Zigbees and your X10s, to your Schlage locks. And then you could use that hub and communicate. It plugs into, see, there's the Ethernet port. It plugs into your network, and then you can control it from your smartphone. And they have iOS, they have Android, they even have Windows Phone apps. This is such an inspired idea. I love SmartThings. Now, we want you to get started with SmartThings. The best way is to buy a kit. They've got a home security, a number of home security kits, and then a number of these solution kits. And the idea is you always get the hub in every kit, and then a bunch of little additional, what would you call those, doohickeys? Little things. Like this is the sensor that can trigger things to turn on when there's movement. It'll send you an alert. So it's like a motion detector. That's the SmartSense Motion. This is a moisture sensor. You put that in the basement, and then if you've got a pipe leak, it can actually notify you. It can do all sorts of things. It could do crazy things. You could your pipes could burst in the basement, and it could start playing a Lady Gaga on the Sonos stereo and turn your lights blue. You may not want to do that, but it could, and that's the point. It could tweet you. It actually could tweet you.
Yeah, with IFTTT.
It could tweet you.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be cool? All your stuff, your lights, your locks, your thermostats, your home security, all connected through a single app. You can customize the way the devices talk to each other. For instance, you could tap good night on your phone, and the lights would turn off, the thermostat would adjust, the doors would lock. You could set your light to brighten each morning at sunrise or when you want to wake up. You can even keep your home protected with SmartThings home security kits, motion detection, water detection, and more. Make your dogs bark, but they're not really your dogs. It's their Sonos speakers. They're barking when somebody is an intruder, right? Scare them away. Anyway, the sky's the limit. I want you to try it. SmartThings was named CES 2015 Editor's Choice Award. I want you to get started setting up your smart home today with SmartThings. They're offering Before You Buy listeners 10% off any home security or solution kit, plus free shipping in the U.S. Go to smartthings.com/twit. Use the offer code TWIT at checkout. SmartThings for all you smart people. Now it's time to take a look at the HP Stream 8. I've been very intrigued by this. I just got a Stream 11. We'll do a review of that probably next week. HP has really found a niche with these small, low-cost Windows 8 devices. We gave Brian Chi the 8-inch, the Stream 8, and he came up with this review.
This is Cheaper, and I'd like to talk about the new HP Stream 8 that I just happened to pick up before I came to visit Petaluma. And what I was looking for is I was looking for a replacement for my Nexus 7. I wanted something small enough to fit into my pocket. And the Microsoft Store people were kind enough to show me quite a variety of tablets. And the Stream 8 was just perfect. It fit into the cargo pocket of my shorts, and I could carry it around, because that's how I use tablets. This quad-core Atom 8-inch tablet is kind of unique in that the back actually comes off, so you can fit in a micro SD card and also get to the SIM, which, oh, by the way, comes with the T-Mobile plan that allows you for 200 meg of data of LTE per month for free. Now, obviously, T-Mobile wants you to upgrade, but you don't have to. If you stay within the 200 meg, life is good. So the unit that I have is a little heavier than my iPad mini. The screen is nice and bright, and it's barely HD. In fact, the specs say it's 800 by 1280, and it does support the 5-finger touch support, so you can do all the multi-touch commands that you've become used to. This is actually good enough that I've been doing a bunch of Visio diagrams, and it's become my go-to tablet for traveling. In fact, I actually have a little keyboard stand with a Microsoft Bluetooth keyboard and a Logitech Bluetooth mouse, and it's pretty much almost a laptop. It's fast. It comes with Office 365 Personal for a year for free. It's got 32 gig of storage, and because it's got a micro SD card, I've got another 32 gig of storage on there, so I have lots of room. But more importantly, because it's running a full copy of Windows 8.1, and it has, of course, Microsoft's cloud storage, I actually store most of my Visio diagrams and engineering diagrams up in the cloud so that I can very easily go back and forth and provide access to the people that I work with. At just under 1 pound, it's a very, very portable tablet that doesn't compromise on performance. And it's been going around with me all kinds of places. I have a little MHL adapter that goes off to the micro USB so that I can go and plug it into HDMI. I'm also using it with a OTG cable so that I can plug full-size USB flash drives into it. So on the pro side, full Windows. So even my VPN tools, my network analysis tools, they all work. Anything that can run on Windows 8 can run on this tablet. Good sized battery, and with a quad-core processor, it's nice and fast. On the con side, I don't quite have the same kind of applications available that were designed specifically for a mobile platform that I have, say, on my iPad mini. The 802.11bgn wireless, unfortunately, is only 2.4 gigahertz, but at least it's Miracast compatible, so that some of those new TVs that are coming out, I actually don't even have to fuss around with an MHL cable. I can send it directly over the Wi-Fi to the smart TV. It does feel heavy. At 0.9 pounds, it weighs down my pocket, but it's a nice solid tablet. All in all, a good tablet, reasonably priced, a heck of a lot less than what I spent on my iPad mini 3. I can use all kinds of different human interface devices like my Logitech mouse or my Microsoft Bluetooth keyboard. Take a good hard look at it. Go to the Microsoft Store, actually carry it around the store, look at it, play with it, and try and run a few of your favorite apps. I would say this is probably a must-buy. This is Cheaper for Before You Buy. Look to see you again on the TWiT TV network.
That's Brian Chi, Cheaper. We see him every week on This Week in Enterprise Tech. Aloha and mahalo, Brian Chi, a buy for the HP Stream 8. And as I said, next week, it's not even much more expensive. Like another $30, you can get the HP Stream 11. We're going to give you a review of the laptop in just about a week. Now it's time to take a look at some portable headphones. Snubs, Shannon Morse is here to take a look at the Shure SRH145 M+. Snubs?
Hey everyone, I'm Shannon Morse, and today on Before You Buy, I have the Shure SRH145M Plus portable headphones with remote and mic. That's a long name, but these cost $49, so they're really, really good price, and they're insanely lightweight and 5.2 ounces, so that makes them definitely very portable. Now, a nice thing about these headphones is you can fold them in, so you can just pack them in your purse and go. They are also adjustable on the ends, so you can actually adjust wherever the headphones fall on your head, so you can lower them or raise them as needed. These are very comfortable. They actually sit on the ears, so they're an on-the-ear set, and they are very noise isolating as well. Whenever I wear these, it's very hard to hear anything that's happening outside of them whenever I'm playing music. You'll notice as well, these aren't Bluetooth, they are cabled, and you can just use them with a 3.5mm jack like you normally would on pretty much anything these days. You'll also notice with the cable that these have an inline remote and mic for iOS users. Now, I don't have an iPhone myself, but I was able to use this with FaceTime on my iPad. The mic sounded very clear and everybody was able to hear me very well, so I had no problems with that. And it also has a volume up and down buttons as well as a play and pause. Now, on Android itself, the plus and minus buttons don't work, but the play and pause do. So you can still use this with Android and it works, but you just won't be able to change the volume. You'll have to actually touch your phone to be able to do that. These do come with a nice 2-year warranty as well, which is going to be really hard to find in that $50 range. So that's a definitely a really good add-on for this kind of purchase, this kind of headphone. Now, as for music testing goes, I tried this with a whole bunch of different songs, but the main 4 that I wanted to mention include a little bit of bass and a little bit of rock and roll, as far as some oldies go as well. Now, first off, I tried some Daft Punk, and I was able to get some really nice bass out of here, but it's not super heavy. Now, they do say that it's rich, deep bass, but I would say it's more of a natural bass sound that comes out of these. So it's not gonna feel overpowering for you. Now, I also tried Bass Nectar on here, some of those songs, and anybody that knows from Bass Nectar, like Mr. Burke behind the camera, you're going to get a lot of overpowering bass with Bass Nectar. So these aren't going to bring out the really true sound quality that you get from songs from them if you listen to them live. Whenever you listen to rock and roll, though, like the Guardians of the Galaxy soundtrack, really, really clear instruments. The vocals sound awesome, especially on the 80s music, so I was happy with that. And the Pink Floyd songs that I listened to on this is really where it stood out. I listened to Money, for example, and with this song, it was very, very crisp. I could really hear every single instrument and even little cymbal hits in the background and the conversation at the end of the song. So I was really, really happy with the volume that I could hear that at, even though it was just in the middle pretty much most of the time that I was listening to it. So I think the overall quality of this is clear and crisp, good bass, but it's more of a natural bass. It's not overpowering. So good definition between right and left speakers as well, since they're stereo. I should mention that as well. So on to the pros and cons. So first off, on the pros, very clear, very crisp, awesome sound quality from these. They are inexpensive and they are comfortable. And on the con side, I don't hear any heavy, overpowering bass, and there's no carrying case. These are portable, so I was expecting some kind of bag to stick them in so I don't end up scratching these with my keys or with my phone while I have it in my purse. And also the inline mic and the volume controls don't work with Android. So buy, try, or don't buy. If you are an iOS user, I would say buy. If not, if you are an Android user, they do have a 145 model for Android users that's $10 less because it does not have these inline controls on it. So overall, I'd say give it a buy for sure. Way to go, Shure. I really like these. These are the Shure SRH145M Plus headphones, and I'm Shannon Morse. Back to you guys.
Shannon Morse of TechThing. And Before You Buy, and she says, buy, but make sure you get the right one. So she reviewed the iOS version. There's also an Android version. That's the 145. $50, that's a good deal. Now, I know we're all into drones. We love the drones here, and there's our drone master, our sensei, when it comes to drone class, is Father Robert Balaser. Yes, he's the host of This Week in Enterprise Tech and Coding 101 and Padre's Corner, but it's because he's also the host of Know-How, where he and Brian have showed you a lot about drones, that we gave him this HobbyKing. This is a kit for a racing quadcopter, the HobbyKing Spec Class FPV 250. Father Robert, take it away.
So, you've mastered your quad trainer and are ready to try something more challenging, but you want a multi-rotor that's more hands-on with the hardware. If that's you, then you're the kind of geek who may be interested in the Spec FPV 250 from HobbyKing. Priced at under $110, the FPV 250 is an almost ready-to-fly 250 class quadcopter kit. Out of the box, you'll find a one-piece glass fiber body with detachable landing struts, 4 multi-star 1704 motors, a set of 5x3x3 propellers, 4 Afro version 3 12-amp electronic speed controllers, a power distribution harness, 1000 mAh lithium poly battery, and a first-person view camera mount. To complete the kit, you'll need to purchase a transmitter and a receiver, a flight controller, a set of servo leads, and a battery charger. All told, the FPV 250 can be fully operational and in the air for less than $160. The hardware is actually pretty good for a beginner's kit. The frame is nearly indestructible, the motors are forgiving, but still powerful for such a small craft, and the kit requires no soldering to get it in the air. There will be some who question buying a kit for $110 that is incomplete, but it's exactly because it's incomplete that makes the FPV 250 so attractive. This kit gives you almost all the pieces you need to build the craft, while also giving you enough design and engineering leeway to customize it to your liking. Think of the FPV 250 as a hovering Lego kit. One thing that the kit does lack are instructions. Any instructions. A complete novice opening the box will probably like all the shiny things, and it's not too difficult to figure out where the pieces physically go, but wiring the electronics can be nerve-wracking when reversing a single connection can blow the entire craft, and there are no instructions to tell you how to hook it up. Yeah, the lack of instructions is almost unforgivable, but luckily, Twit TV did a complete step-by-step guide to assembling the FPV 250 in Know-How Episode 122. Everything from mounting the motors to installing and configuring the flight controller to wiring the power systems and tuning the craft. So while I'm not super happy that HobbyKing built a beginner's kit that is unfriendly for beginners, it's not a deal killer. Okay, so that's what's in the box and not in the box. The question is, how does it fly? In a word, brilliant. The FPV 250 can be completely gentle and forgiving for the novice pilot, but agile enough to appease experienced pilots when the flight controller settings are turned up. A generous but not crazy thrust-to-weight ratio means that the craft behaves predictably in flight, but also has some decent zip when you want to hit the gas and drop it into manual mode. It's also very resistant to crash damage. But then again, why am I talking? Let's just watch it go.
Well, there you go. That's the HobbyKing. Father Robert Ballecer is here. This is our HobbyKing. Now, you said it was a 250 class. What?
Right.
250 horsepower? What?
250 millimeters between the propellers.
So that's a size class.
That's a size class,
Okay.
right. So if this is a 250, this is about 230. This is also a 250. This larger one here on the front of the table, this is a 450.
The one that has my head
The Leo Chopper.
glued to it. So the ones that you recommended I buy, like the SEMA, those are the 230s. They're little. They're light, which means it's nice because if you hit somebody, they don't get mad at you.
Exactly. We always recommend people start with something that's less dangerous. I can run into people and it's not going to hurt them.
This probably wouldn't kill somebody.
It would hurt them.
But it would hurt them.
It would hurt them.
Especially if it fell out of the sky.
Right.
And that is a risk with drones. We have to pay attention to that.
It's a huge risk. And that's why we tell people to start with something like this. Because if you get out of control with a trainer, it's not going to damage it. It'll fall out of the sky, you pick it up and you go again. This falls out of the sky, you will definitely break something, most likely a prop, and you may hurt someone on the ground.
So this should not be your first drone.
It should not be your first drone.
Okay. But if you already are experienced with that, I mean, it's a pretty good, I guess the price is right.
Right, yeah, exactly. For about $160, I can do a complete build of this thing. It is tough. It teaches you how everything works, which is what we want to do.
That's kind of cool, yeah.
Yeah, because if you know how it works, you're less likely to do something stupid with it.
Well, is it also more fixable as a result? Because I worry about these things getting bashed up.
Right. This frame is nearly indestructible. I've crashed this into walls at full speed. You break a couple of props, you may bend a motor shaft, but pretty much everything else on this craft is bulletproof.
I was a little disappointed to hear that you have to buy more, though.
Yeah.
Can you buy it all together in one?
You can buy kits that are all together, but I think it actually, that's not as favorable. You want people to understand what's going into it, because then, again, they'll treat it better.
And most hobby stores would now have this kind of stuff and the parts that you'd need. You don't have to buy it online.
Right.
Okay. So, just to recap, it's the HobbyKing Spec Class FPV 250. Pros and cons.
Pros and cons, it teaches you. This is a learning kit. This is like a Lego set for electronics.
Right.
So if you have no interest whatsoever in knowing why it works or how it flies, this is not for you. But if you want to learn, it's a great learning tool. The second thing is that it's tough. This thing is nearly as indestructible as this. The only parts that I've broken in 3 months of flying this thing are the props, and that's normally when they hit a hard surface.
How many drones do you own?
I have an air. What do you call that? A fleet?
A fleet
an
of
Air
drones.
Force. I have about 13.
What?
Yeah. When I get bored, I build. And so I build a lot.
This is so awesome. You're the drone master. Okay. What other pros?
The other pro is that it's very forgiving for a beginner. These motors are nice and small.
Okay.
But it does have enough zip, as you saw in our video, to give even an intermediate flyer a little bit of a thrill.
You were having fun with it.
Oh, I have a lot of fun.
And you can carry a camera. It's big enough to hold a camera.
I put a GoPro right on top. Those shots from Waikiki Beach, the nice
Those
smooth.
are beautiful.
That's just a GoPro.
By the way, that was your sister.
That was my sister. Yes.
And then you might have seen briefly a guy on crutches in a garage.
That was my brother.
That was your brother.
Yeah.
So the whole family, the whole Balasair family was in here. So that's good, because these little ones you couldn't put a camera. They're not very powerful.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So this is big enough for a GoPro.
Yeah.
Cons.
There's only one con that I can think of, and that is it's a beginner kit.
Yeah.
And HobbyKing included no instructions.
What?
None. Not. They don't even tell you what the parts are.
Can you go online and do it?
Know-How did a step-by-step, so we've got that fixed. But if you're going to put out a beginner's kit, I mean, you should treat everyone like a beginner.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So fortunately, we have, if you do buy this, we have the instructions.
We have the instructions.
And video. Know-How, which episode do you remember?
122. And actually, HobbyKing now links to Know-How 122. So if you buy the kit, you'll see our instructions.
We were going to write instructions, and this guy came along. He's got a lot of drones, so let him do the work. That's cool. Buy, try, don't buy.
I give this a buy. This is a solid buy. When you are comfortable enough with this, when you start getting bored, that's when you move to this.
Especially at that price. Because you go to a DJI Phantom or one of the higher end ones, you're talking $1,000 or more.
$4,000, right?
$100 for this, plus the $160 all put together.
Exactly, and then you can keep the investment, because this is actually the exact same airframe, mostly the same parts, the same controller, but I've upgraded the motors.
Oh, so this is upgradable.
Yes. So this is just on top of that. So it's like, taking out your car on the weekend and tuning it up. And then ultimately, you want to end up with...
Did you build this?
Yes, this is the Leo chopper.
I like it.
So whenever I need to fly around San Francisco, this Leo is right there guiding us.
Are you going to show this on an episode of Know-How?
Yes, I believe we're showing it in a week, and there you go. That's what the Leo chopper looks like in action.
That's the best selfie device I've ever seen.
It really is. So
wow.
This 250 will eventually lead you to mounting your head on a quadcopter.
I knew. Father Robert Balasair, he's the digital Jesuit. Of course, you can catch him on This Week in Enterprise Tech with Brian Chi, we saw earlier. You can see him on Know-How, where he builds stuff like this and teaches you how to do it. Coding 101, talking about programming, great show. And of course, Father Robert's Corner, Paco, as I call it.
Padres Corner.
Which is just for fun and great stuff every Thursday.
Just have a nice
You're going to
conversation.
take over this show.
I am, but my understanding is that we'll still have the experience and the wisdom of Leo Laporte.
I will review something each and every week because I love getting my hands on this stuff and doing it. But schedule-wise, it's a little tough for me to do I've been doing 3 shows on Tuesday. That's kind of exhausting. So we're going to move the show to Friday?
It's going to be on Fridays at, I believe, 3 o'clock, right after This Week in Enterprise.
And that starts March?
Yes.
Okay, so you have a few more weeks to bear with me, and then Father Robert will be hosting Before You Buy starting in March. Thank you, Robert. I appreciate it. We're going to take a break. When we come back, I want to review, I think what many say, and I'd love to get your feedback on this too, is the hottest Windows laptop out right now. It's certainly among them. Announced at CES, we got our hands on one. We'll give you a review of the Dell XPS 13, the brand new one, in just a moment. Our show today brought to you by the very good folks at Prosper.com. Prosper is a very interesting idea. It's an innovative idea. It's a peer-to-peer lending marketplace. Do you know what? It's something only the internet could make possible. The idea is, and this is what I love about the internet. We were talking on triangulation yesterday about eliminating the gatekeepers, about making it possible for people to do things by bringing people with money together with people who need money. And that's exactly what Prosper does. You get great loans without going into a bank, as much as $35,000 as quickly as 5 days. And you can use the money for just about anything you want, pay off high-rate credit cards, fix up your house, put it into your business. There aren't that many ways to get money, as you probably know. You can go to friends or family. That's a terrible idea. You can go to credit card companies, pay through the nose. Traditional bank loans, man, that's a lot of trouble, and you got to go to a bank. But with a low fixed-rate loan from Prosper.com, you're just going to feel good about it. Prosper's online marketplace is just a brilliant way to connect people with who need money with those who have money to invest. Don't add more debt to your credit cards. You'll never pay them off at that interest rate. Go to Prosper. Prosper.com/twit, and you can check your low rate right away. Just give them a little bit of information. Don't worry, they don't need everything. And you'll even be able to do that without affecting your credit. For a limited time, Prosper is offering Twit viewers a $50 Visa prepaid card when you get the loan. So go to prosper.com/twit. That's a special site just for you. Prosper.com/twit. Imagine up to $35,000 in as little as 5 days. Prosper.com/twit. All right, here it is. I've been waiting with bated breath, and Dell got this to me about a week sooner than they said they would. Wow. So I was really happy about this. I ordered it almost as soon as they announced it. This is the new Dell XPS 13. Now, what's interesting about this? Well, there are a few things. First of all, they announced it at CES. Let me just log into this, and I'm using Windows 8, so you'll see Windows 8 screens on here. In fact, let me go to the Windows 8 tile menu, because you'll recognize that right away. There you go. A couple of things about this. Let me also turn it up, because we're in bright lights here, so you want to get as bright as you can to see how great this screen looks. This is a Broadwell-based chip. So that's the 5th generation Intel cores. I got the i5. And Broadwell is a TOC in the Intel tick-tock cycle. In other words, it's not particularly faster, but they're doing a new 14 nanometer process. It's a much more small chip, which means it's more energy efficient, better battery life. We're going to see Broadwell on a lot of laptops, but so far it's this Dell and a Lenovo laptop that are the first to come out with the Broadwell chips. And it's only the mobile parts that are out now. Broadwell on desktop is still a little bit of ways away. So I wanted to see Broadwell, but I also was very intrigued by this, and I'm calling it infinity screen. I've seen other people call it that too. Look how small the bezels are on this screen. This is a 13-inch, and by the way, I got the QHD, the high definition screen. 13-inch screen in essentially a laptop that is the size of an 11-inch. So that's the same size as a, say, MacBook Air 11-inch, even a little lighter, 2.6 pounds, but with a full 13-inch screen, and I think that's a great combination. You might ask, why, Leo, did you get the QHD screen instead of the 1080p? You'll get a lot better battery life on the 1080p. This QHD screen's only giving me about 6 hours per charge. Let me see if I can get it right there so you can see it. But I wanted touch. I'm kind of the opinion that you need touch to use Windows 8. I may have been wrong on that, because like a lot of manufacturers now, They do use the trackpad to give you things like you swipe in from this side and you'll get the swipe in from this side, you get the charms bar. You know, a lot of the touch stuff, swipe in from the left side and, well, maybe it's not working all that. See, I find touching so much easier. If you swipe in from the left side, you'll get the previous apps screen. Some of the things that you would do in a touch menu work pretty well on the trackpad. Nevertheless, I feel it's easier just to tap things, to touch things. So I wanted the touch screen. For that, you have to get the QHD. You sacrifice, it costs more. You do get more RAM in there, but you also have to use the high-res screen and you get worse battery life. So it's kind of a trade-off. This was as equipped with 8 gigs of RAM, the i5 processor, and a 128 gig SSD. It was about $1,150. They range in price from about $1,000 to about $1,300, depending on how you're equipping it at Dell. Dell does not give you the choices. You know, a lot of times you go to the Dell site, you can configure it like crazy. Dell doesn't really give you that many choices on this. For instance, I wasn't able to get a signature version. It does have some Dell stuff on it. Not bad, though. It has McAfee. Uninstalled it, no problem. It has that Dell store on it, uninstalled it, no problem. So it's a pretty clean version of Windows, even with the stuff. There's a few things like the Amazon app and the Kindle app. Obviously, Amazon made a deal with them. I don't mind having it there. You know, the translator, the register my device, my Dell and Dell backup recovery. That's it. So it's a fairly clean install. It is a beautiful screen, and I have to say that's the #1 pro on this. Is the bezel-less screen is spectacular. It's very responsive with touch. I also like, and I don't think this was immediately apparent from reading the specs, this is kind of a rubberized texture on the wrist rest and the keyboard, and I find that very comfortable. This is a very nicely designed machine with the aluminum top and bottom. Look at this. This is kind of funny. Remember, Dell always puts the Dell tracking ID and the Windows serial number on the bottom, but they tend to rub off there. So now they put a little hatch, and it's it's underneath the hatch. That's cute. But it adds to the overall design. Sound is excellent on this. We were playing. In fact, let me see if I can pull it up here. We were playing earlier a little bit of music on this, and while it's not going to replace your stereo system for watching YouTube videos, I think it's just fine. Let me find out. What was that I was playing? That
the Rude Sandstorm.
Yeah, don't you like that? Sandstorm's a great song, and we're going to take you back to the year 2000 here and rock the house. This is the 10-hour version, in case you are in a hurry. We'll play this off YouTube so you can see also how good the video looks on this thing. That's not a very good. That's like a VHS tape.
It's definitely got volume.
But and this is turned all the way up. Keyboard excellent on this, by the way. Very typable. Good travel on the keys. It is a soft touch keyboard, but I still think just a very easy type keyboard. I also like the trackpad. I think it was good. See, that sounds okay. Don't you think that sounds good?
Oh, I'm sorry, Leo. I was rocking out.
You were dancing. Battery life would be better if you got the 1080p screen, but 5 or 6 hours is pretty good for something this light and portable and that high quality of a screen. So I'm happy with that. Speed, it's fast. It's a speed demon, as you would expect. The Broadwell chip adds about 5% in performance, but also SSD, 8 gigs of RAM. You're talking a pretty speedy machine. The only con I could find in the whole thing, it's running Windows 8. What a bummer, man.
Well, you could put Windows 10 on there.
You know what? This is going to be a great Windows 10. I really like so far what I've seen on the Windows 10 technical preview, and I feel like this is going to be a great Windows 10 machine. In fact, that was the thing that put me over the top. I felt like, well, yeah, it's Windows 8 for now, but I'll be able to put Windows 8.1, I should say. But I'll be able to put Windows 8 on that. And you know, truthfully, I don't even run that tile menu. I keep the app menu. I'm one of them old school guys. I boot into the desktop. This is pretty much just getting back to the Windows 7 days, and I look forward to Windows 10 on this. So that's facetious when I say that's a con. If you need a Windows laptop, if you want light, powerful, gorgeous screen with very little bezel, if you want a small package that packs a large screen, there really isn't anything comparable. This is a definite buy, a fabulous first Broadwell laptop from Dell. They call it the new XPS 13. You know I'm a fan of Dell machines. This one is spectacular.
I have sworn by my Acer S7. I love that Ultrabook, but this thing, it's the hotness. This really is.
My father-in-law got the S7.
Oh.
It's not as thin as the S7. But I had a pre-Haswell. I had a 3rd generation i7 in my S7.
That's
the original S7. I wasn't crazy about that keyboard, and I didn't upgrade to the Haswell version as you did.
Right.
I'm going every other generation, so it was time to get a new one, and this is the first with the Broadwell chipset, which I have to say is really quite nice.
It's a solid design.
Solid design. The backlit keyboard, I find it a little easier to read than on the Acer, and this is so typable. I don't know how you felt about that original Acer S7. The keyboard wasn't great on that for me, but this I love in every respect. They've done a nice job. Yeah, I mean, I'll have to see what Acer does. I'm sure they'll do a Broadwell version of the S7. Maybe I'll be sad, but for now, I'm very happy with the Dell XPS 13. Hey, that's it for Before You Buy. Thank you, Robert Ballester. Thank you to Snubs, and thank you to Chad and the whole gang. We appreciate your being here, too. If you have something you'd like to see on Before You Buy, email byb@twit.tv. You can catch the show on YouTube. We do something unusual there. We chop every review up so you can get an individual review and share it with family and friends. Maybe they're in the market for speakers that you put on the window. Well, you might want to share that with them. The base egg. That's youtube.com/beforeyoubuy, or on the Twit website, twit.tv/BYB, and of course, wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks for being here. We'll see you next week. Remember, you gotta watch Before You Buy.